Vistara. Today we're studying Sutra number 27. It's short, sweet and simple and almost all of us understand it. Tasya vācakaḥ Pranava. So, tasya, of it, vācakaḥ, verbal expression, Pranavaḥ is Om or the primordial sound. So, but what does this actually mean in terms of yoga? According to Maharishi Ved Vyasa, the sacred word connotes him. Him meaning whom? Who we have been studying of in the previous 3 or 4 sutras, which is Ishvara. So now he's saying he is denominated by the sacred word, the Pranava or Om. Om. A, U, M. It is the relation of the sign and the thing that is signified through a convention, and he says that it is inherent as between flame and light. So he says his relation, Ishvara's relation with the sign is inherent and thus ever present. Further, the convention of God only shows only an object which exists, that which is inherent, as the relation already exists between a father and a son and is only expressed by the convention. This is the father and this is the son. In other creations too, the same convention is adopted on account of the dependence upon the connotative powers of the sign and the thing signified. So the indicator or the vācakaḥ is if the relation of the word or a meaning is inherent and that is manifested by convention, that such and such a meaning is symbolized by such and such a word, then in the absence of any relation between the word and the meaning would not be conveyed even if 100 conventions exist. So for instance, if no jar exists which may be shown by a lamp, even if 100 lamps exist, it would not reveal one jar. It is, however, observed that the word elephant will signify a camel if a convention is made that this word will be used to signify an animal of that class. So this is what he's trying to explain, what is the meaning of its relation is inherent. This is the meaning. Sound is a manifestation of Prakriti. At the time of the latency, it goes back into the state of Prakriti. Its power also thereby disappears. So a particular verbal sign is born again through successive states of Mahat. And although a word does become one with the Prakriti along with the power, it comes back into manifestation along with the power. So he says, as earth-born creatures become one with the earth on cessation and rain brings them back to life, so also upon the death of the universe as such, sound goes back into Ishvara and it is reborn in successive manifestations as various sounds. But the primordial sound essentially is Om. This is a little complicated. We'll come to Swami Satyananda, who says Om is the word denoting God. See, essentially what Patanjali is trying to tell you here is that there are specific aspects of this sutra. The first is the sacred word. Okay, it connotes him and it has an inherent connotation or a connection with him. These are the aspects that you have to remember in the sutra. And please note, he doesn't use the word Om, he uses the word Pranava. And the reason for that is in one of Acharya's teachings, he says that because Om is only given upon initiation, so it is generically it is referred to as Pranava. Om is what is chanted once you have been given the initiation by your Guru. So he says, therefore the sacred word is the Pranava, which is the word that symbolizes prana or life. Swami Satyananda says, Patanjali has given a scheme for going from the state of knowledge to the state of perception or experience. Om is that word which indicates Ishvara. Supreme consciousness is formless. So to know him, we have to be able to access him through something. And the first way of accessing him is through a word. So typically, the means of access are mantra, yantra, mandala. Now, basically, these are the forms of expressed consciousness. Mantra is words, and it has word and sound. It has form and sound. Okay. Mandala typically has a figure that is either human or animal, and it has a form, so it can be seen. So, yantra is a psychic symbol. So, Om is both mantra and yantra. So it is not a mandala because there is no human or animal symbol. Yantra has diagram and sounds, but tantra has no sound, so it can only be seen and not heard. And in yantra, Bij mantra is added. So this yantra is a combination of form and sound with Bij mantra. Swami Satyananda is explaining. So we cannot perceive Ishvara directly, but we can experience him through a mantra. And Om is the mantra that designates Ishvara. We access it through the form of Om and through the sound of Om, okay, and through the vibration of Om. So through these means we access Ishvara through the mantra. Ishvara, that is avyakta or unmanifest and imperceptible, becomes perceptible to us through Om. That is essentially the signification of this sutra. Swami Vivekananda says his manifesting word is Om. Every idea in the mind has a counterpart in the world. It's very beautifully explained. Word and thought are inseparable. So the external part of thought is word, the internal part of the word is thought. So these cannot be separated. Okay. So this is what he means by the relationship is an inherent one. It is good only if there can be a real connection between the thing signified and the symbol. And until then, that symbol will never come into general use. Symbol is a manifesto of the thing signified. If the thing signified already has existence, then the symbol has expressed it many times and the signification is firm and real. So that way the manifesting word of God is Om. One thought is connected with thousands of words, and each one stands as a symbol of God because there are so many words for God, especially in Hinduism where we have, Sahasranam, we have 1,000 words of God. So there has to be one thing, one common ground, one substratum, Swami Vivekananda says, that connects all these words that we have for God, and that is Om. And Om, he says, cuts across all sects, ideologies and modalities, especially in ancient times, whether you debated whether Sankhya dualism is valid, or if it's monodualism or monotheism or various forms of isms. The one word that connected, that signified Ishvara across the board is Om. BKS Iyengar says he is represented by the sacred symbol Om called Pranava. Okay, and he is identified by Om, he is represented by Om. Pranava stands for the praise of the divine, and he says sound is a vibration that is the source of all creation. Whatever religion you belong to, basically what we say is word is the beginning of the universe, it's the significator of God. But vibration, being the subtlest form of creation, is the nearest we can get to Ishvara in the material world. So we need a symbol. So we use Om as the symbol of Ishvara. So the impersonal essence is Hiranyagarbha, the golden womb. It is Brahman. It is within each heart. So Om is the bow and the self is the arrow. With deep concentration, the aspirant has to hit the target. Om is composed of three symbols: A, Ma, Om. So within this, it covers the entire gamut of sound. So these are the seed or the bija of all words that exist in the universe. They symbolize vācakaḥ. Okay, they symbolize vācakaḥ, that is speech, manas, that is mind, prana, that is life or breath. And he says, as leaves are held together by a twig, so also all speech is held together by Om. They also represent the three genders, the three gunas, the three aspects of time, past, present, future, and the three gurus, that is father, mother, and the teacher. They also represent the three aspects of divinity, that is Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. So Om represents that which liberates one from the confines of body, mind, intellect, and ego through this three-pronged syllabic invocation of the primordial sound. Osho says he is known as Om, and he says this Ishvara, this God, what he calls the perfect flowering, is known as Om, and Om is the symbol of the universe in sound. And in you hear thoughts, words, but never the sound of your being. He says when there is no desire, when there is no need, when the body has dropped, when the mind disappears, what will happen? Then the real sound of the universe itself is heard, and that is Om. That sound is universal. When you stop, it says when you stop churning in this samsaric, cycle, you can hear it. And right now you're talking so much, chattering so much that you cannot hear it within yourself. And Patanjali says he is known as Om. So if you want to find a master or master of masters, what you have to do, Osho says, is tune yourself to the sound of Om. And once you hear the sound, then all the other sounds will not matter. Barbara Stoller Miller translates it as his sound is the reverberating symbol Om. Om is the primordial sound, the Pranava, the cosmic vibration. Human beings reproduce it by extending and strengthening the opening compound vowel Om and end with Ma. O generates deep, low in the body, in the diaphragm. Ma reverberates in the head. And according to the Upanishads, all speech, thought are derived from the one sound of Om. It expresses the ultimate reality in the cosmos, in the Lord of Yoga, and in the individual. What she means to say is that single sound that generates throughout the body, reverberates in the head, unifies everything from the smallest being to the highest state of consciousness. Thank you so much for listening, and please do chant. It might, if you have any anxiety, if you have any stress and tension, and just want a few moments of peace, just deeply chanting Om will bring you a lot of sthirata or stillness. Thank you so much for listening. Come back tomorrow for Sutra number 28.